Does this sound familiar? You've got one device that lets you catch a game live, another lets you stream your favorite shows, you're watching sports highlights on your phone, and you've got your neighbor's best friend's login for the good stuff. Well, I want to tell you about a simple way to get all that entertainment you love without the hassle, and a great way to finally get your TV together. It's called DirecTV Stream, and it brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, so you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. That means no more juggling remotes, no need to buy another device ever again, and the best part, there's no annual contract. So get rid of the clutter and the confusion and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directv.com. That's DIRECTV.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package.
Steph Curry with another amazing performance, and we're going to get you ready for all of the matchups this weekend in the NFL, but we start with Thursday Night Football. Jalen, do you remember when the Patriots were 1-3 and did not look to be going anywhere this season? Well, all that has changed. They played the Falcons last night, turned the Falcons over, four interceptions, stopped them on a fourth down, got that pick, and Mac Jones did his thing. What do you think about the Patriots?
Funny what? 7 days can change. It was all good a few weeks ago. You're right. The Patriots did get off to a rocky start, but you know why? They got a rookie quarterback that they were nurturing. They had a defense that they were trying to put together. And they let go of a couple of their holdovers. And now all of a sudden, look at them. Scoring defensive touchdowns, getting pressure, getting sacks. Made Matt Ryan look like a rookie quarterback at times. And as a matter of fact, 3 straight times they put quarterbacks out there. Each of them guys got picked off. So again, this is a great recipe for the Patriots to seem clearly to be an ascending squad in the AFC as the season progresses.
And as you mentioned, the season progressing, they have 2 more games against the Buffalo Bills. They're in play in the AFC East, something I did not think I would be saying when the season started. Look at their upcoming schedule. They've got some tough games. Titans, Bills, bye, and then Colts, Bills. At the end of that run of 5 weeks, they could seriously be on top of the AFC East. Moving on to the biggest game this weekend. I'm not going to be watching Red Zone. I'm going to be locked in on this game solely in the late slate because it is the Dallas Cowboys, one of the best teams in the NFC, traveling to Arrowhead to play the Kansas City Chiefs, who look like the Kansas City Chiefs again.
Yeah, and they were really enthusiastic by the way they played last weekend. However, the Dallas Cowboys going on the road, this would be a good test for them because the last couple of weeks, while both of these teams have gotten quality wins, they've also had some head-scratching losses. And seeing Cheetah open in the end zone last week was great. Seeing Mahomes finding Kelsey last week was great. But Mahomes still is turning the football over more this year than he had basically the last 2 seasons combined. And if you look at the numbers, Dak Prescott currently is having a better season than Patrick Mahomes. Words that have never come out of my mouth, and he deserves that. And so 2 offenses that have the ability to explode. We saw Zeke have 2 touchdowns last week. CeeDee Lamb had 2 touchdowns last week. I'm looking forward to Diggs, seeing if he can get a pick against Mahomes. This is all of the great theater we're looking for on the weekend.
I mean, will we see Mahomes from last season, that virtuistic sort of controller of the offense that we saw? Or will we see Mahomes, the guy that throws it to the other team a lot, because Diggs is going to be out there hunting. So we'll see just if he can control the turnovers. That's going to be the key to the game. If they keep the turnovers down, do you think the Chiefs get the win at home?
Well, here's the difference, right? We're talking about Diggs because he's been basically getting an interception every game. I'll mention Parsons because he's been dynamic all year. You know what we haven't done? Talked about anything on the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Now, Honey Badger is that deal, but, I mean, that's what has also caused, in my opinion, besides the fact he hasn't been protected a lot, Patrick Mahomes to feel like he has to press because he feels like their defense isn't going to get timely stops.
Jalen, we talk about the Cowboys and the Packers as the best teams in the NFC, and in previous years we'd be talking about the Seahawks, but not this year. Russell Wilson returned from injury, got shut out, and I'm going to do the media thing and take this way too far in advance of their game against the Cardinals. If this continues to go this way, will this be the last time, the last season that we see Russell Wilson play for the Seahawks?
You know, supporters of this program have heard inklings of that over the last season or so. And the thing is, what Russ asked for really hadn't happened. He wanted them to improve their offensive line. That didn't take place. Unfortunately for him, Carson has dealt with some injuries. You got Metcalf and Rocket to Lockett out there that can make plays, but I wouldn't be surprised, Jacoby. It seems like going into the offseason, we showed Pete Carroll sound bites, we showed Russ sound bites, and it seems like this is going to be a team that ultimately had to use this as a proving ground year for their quarterback, who got hurt for the first time in his career, ended up missing a few games, came back after that injury, and got shut out. So absolutely, this is going to be a big week for Russ to not only get his confidence back, but to start back looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the game.
If through 10 games this team is 3-7, I just can't see a way that the roadmap where they make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, I don't see Russell Wilson staying there. It just seems like both Wilson and the Seahawks need to turn the page. I do not expect him to come back next season. Moving on to another game between two teams in the NFC, that is the Packers traveling to Minnesota to play the Vikings. Aaron Rodgers is expected to play, even though he hasn't been practicing, but Aaron Jones will likely not play. Can the Packers pull this off?
I believe so. You're going to miss Aaron Jones, no doubt about it, but Dylan stepped in last week and was huge in the run game and the pass game. I don't know how Aaron Rodgers got the pass that I haven't heard anybody else in the world get, that he doesn't have to get vaccinated, tested for 90 days, but hey, all the best to him. But either way, from a football standpoint, I think having him back, yes. Going against Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook hasn't had the kind of year anticipated in the preseason. We know about Jefferson. We know about Thielen. You know, that Minnesota offense, you know, it's been inconsistent. And so for Aaron Rodgers, for the Packers, this is a great opportunity to get a win within the division.
Yeah, with Cook, with Thielen, with Jefferson, you would expect the Vikings offense to be more explosive than it has been up to this point. And the Vikings defense, while very good against the run, is not good against the pass. And Aaron Rodgers can pick you apart like no other quarterback in the NFL. Jalen, time to talk about the Lions. Ooh, the Lions. They're playing the Browns. The Browns are coming off a tough loss, and Jared Goff is not available. So Tim Boyle, the legendary Tim Boyle, is going to take the starting reps for the Lions. Dan Campbell is taking over play calling over offensive coordinator Anthony Lynn. Jalen, can Tim Boyle step onto the field and get the Lions a much-needed win? There's Tim Boyle right there, number 8. Learning from Aaron Rodgers. We don't have a lot of game action from Tim Boyle, but what do you expect to see? Oh, look at that. You see that technique where he took a knee? lot of great Boyle highlights. I've never seen us show somebody take a knee. That was funny. But here's the thing. Get well soon to my guy, Jarrett Montana. As it relates to the Cleveland Browns, talk about seeking to new lows. If they were to lose to the Lions under this situation, you know us in Cleveland are at odds about a lot of things, right? Michiganders and Clevelanders and Ohioans. But you know one thing we do have in common? We both root for football teams in the NFL that have gone winless in an NFL season. Mm-hmm. And so they don't want to see that happen to us again. I know they don't. So this might be a time where Swift goes over 150 this time, except he has 2 TDs, and we and get our first victory of the year. No chance. I love the idea that you were talking about teams going winless. Don't forget that tie. That tie was a huge win against the Steelers. That tie kept this team from being the first team in history from going 0-17. 0-16-1 is so much better than 0-17. And Tim Boyle, we did some research. Tim Boyle threw some darts in the preseason. Tim Boyle had himself,
show that final highlight of him taking a knee. That was funny.
Tim Boyle has completed 3 passes in his NFL career. That man on the right, number 8, Tim Boyle. What? Look at it in the snow. You gotta have ball security to take a knee in the snow like that. Look at that. Boom. See the way he took that knee with confidence? You see that? You see how he has that tucked there? I believe in Tim Boyle. Big win for the Lions this weekend. I'm predicting it. Jalen, Steph Curry did it again. The Warriors were down in the fourth quarter. Steph Curry took over. Had 9 threes and got them the win. Gatorade knows there are many paths to greatness. How you get there is up to you. Sometimes you got to grind it out to get up early to put in the work, even when you're not feeling 100. Sometimes it takes staying focused on a goal, knowing where you want to be, and you'll have to pour everything in to get there. Other times you just need to dig deep and show some guts, to be brave and never let anything stand in the way of what you can accomplish. And then there are days you just have to get in the gym and see some gains. Put in all the reps to get stronger each day. Again, grind, goal, guts, games. All starts with a G, just like Gatorade. Whatever path you take to greatness, Gatorade's proven formula is there to help you fuel it. Because like those other words, Gatorade and greatness start with a G.
Sports are full of great moments, and even better than those moments are the debates surrounding which one is the best. Any given week, there's a toe-dragging sideline catch, a buzzer-beating shot from midcourt, or a blast from the point that goes just under the goalie's glove. But when it comes to home and car insurance, the debate ends with State Farm. They have what you need with coverage that fits your budget. State Farm offers surprisingly great rates for nearly everyone, not just star athletes. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Coming to you live from the Seaport, New York City, and brought to you by Chase. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen Anthony Rose. The Warriors were playing the Cavs on the road. They were down. It looked like they were going to lose. They were down double digits in the fourth quarter. What does Steph Curry do? 24th quarter points. Doesn't just bring them from behind to get the win. Brings them from behind to get a double-digit win. Look at where this man is shooting from, Mr. Rose.
Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. Curtis Blow was on to something, right? How about this? When I watch Steph Curry play basketball, Jacoby, you see why it's in fast forward? It's because we've never seen anything like this in the history of the NBA. An efficient volume three-point shooter that can make 9 in a basketball game and seamlessly, effortlessly. Off the catch, off the dribble. The level of domination you see from like the power of Shaq or the mobility of a King or the gracefulness of a Michael Jordan playing with his tongue out or the ferocity of a LeBron James. Steph Curry has brought that level of enthusiasm and greatness from shooting. And when you and I called him the best player in the game, I need to teach people why I love sports and how this works. There's something called NBA Player of the Week, Player of the Month, and MVP. So that means this changes, and it goes by how you're playing right now. Kind of like king of the court. This is competition. And right now, Steph Curry, playing on the Golden State Warriors, who have the best record in basketball, has been the best performer that I've seen in the league. So right now, he's the best player in the game.
And one thing I want to point out, if you could just run that clip of the Steph Curry buckets that you just showed, is how many of these buckets are assisted by Draymond Green? Because the chemistry that him and Green have built over the years is Draymond is looking for Steph. And when Draymond finds Steph, he always finds him for a bucket. After you see these threes, there's a couple backdoor cuts that Draymond hits him with. Draymond always waits for him to move off a screen, gets the ball right on time, right in the perfect spot, just like that when he hits the threes. Like, the chemistry between these two, like that little backdoor bucket, because everyone's so concerned about him shooting threes that he gets to the hole, and Draymond always finds him. This team, when they get Clay, is going to be very difficult to deal with in the Western Conference.
The biggest statement of this NBA season just recently happened. And by the way, this flurry of Steph making 9 threes in a row, he's done it like 4 or 5 times in the last month. Let me remind everybody the biggest statement that took place so far in this year's NBA. Steph Curry went into the Brooklyn Zoo against Kevin Durant and James Harden and waxed them. So much that the opposing crowd was chanting MVP and cheering for this man to shoot and was mad that he didn't late because he took the break. He took his foot off the pedal. So, like, Steph Curry has been that dominant this season so far.
Well, I expected the Bills to be dominant this season, and they lost to the Jaguars. However, they were dominant last week, and they've got a test this weekend, Sunday, 1 o'clock in Buffalo. They'll take on Frank Reich and the Colts. And Jonathan Taylor, who's been playing really well this season, probably the best running back in the NFL production-wise this season. Jalen, you know I'm a card-carrying member of the Bills Mafia. You know that I've jumped off a table outside of the stadium. The Bills are on upset alert. There we are, Bills Mafia.
Where's Conway? Where's Conway?
Favored by 7 points.
Where's Conway?
What do they need to do to beat the Colts and to slow down Jonathan Taylor?
They got to get Conway on the graphic. He's a big part of the team. In all honesty, their defense has been terrific all season, not only getting interceptions, but getting pressures. But what you saw last week, Stephon Diggs having a big game, that's going to be the key. And the three-headed monster they're doing at running back. You know, with Breida, Moss, and Singletary, Breida had 2 touchdowns, but then he fumbled. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do with Singletary and Moss, that type of thing. You got Emmanuel Sanders on the outside. But Josh Allen, that might be your bet this weekend, Jacoby, for him to get another rushing TD.
Oh, that's every week. Every time I go to New Jersey, I bet for Josh Allen to get a rushing TD, and he has been paying that off. I got to get an excuse to go out to New Jersey so I can put some legal bets in. Now, I'll have my eye on another game this weekend purely for the drama. It is Cam Newton and the Panthers. It looks like Cam is going to get the start, not just against the football team, but against Ron Rivera, his former head coach. Cam announced last week that he is back. Is he so far back that he can get a win against the football team?
Unfortunately for the football team, they had a big-time win against the Bucs, and then you lose Chase Young for the rest of the season. I hope he gets well soon. That, for Cam Newton, makes his job somewhat easier when you get your first start returning to Carolina and you don't have to face him. With that being said, Cam was terrific with a short pass for a TD and a short run for a TD. But Ron Rivera, like Cam, they know each other very well because of what you mentioned. Their years together in Carolina and helped lead that franchise to the Super Bowl while Cam winning the MVP. So it's going to be a great chess match between the two.
It really is. I'm rooting for Cam. I'm always rooting for the comeback story. The idea that he was without a job, out of the league for as long as he was, just seems silly to me. I hope Cam gets the win against the football team. Jalen, it is time for something that we've been doing all baseball season long. It is time for Show Me Some Shohei. Jalen Rose, we've been celebrating the brilliance that is Shohei Ohtani all season long, and we knew it was going to happen, but now it is official. He is the American League MVP. Please celebrate this historic season in Anaheim.
And Bryce Harper for the National League. Here's the thing, though, doing it with 2 different teams, which is crazy. So, man, let me tell you something. If he was only a hitter, he'd likely be MVP, okay? He also steals bases. And I got a secret for you. Is an ace pitcher, Jacoby. Like, this is more than just like MVP season to me. This is, other than when Barry, along with, I ain't gonna say other than, because ain't nothing like hitting for power and pitching. So this is the greatest season I ever seen. But the other greatest thing I ever seen was Barry Bonds getting walked even when there was a man on third base. Like those 2 level of dominance that I've seen have been incredible. And here's a guy that plays with Mike Trout on a team that's not even in the playoffs. Hey, Angel fans, you're on the clock. They got to find a way to build a winner around these guys if they want to keep them long term.
Absolutely. When you have a talent like that, I mean, when you're comparing your seasons to Babe Ruth played in a completely different baseball. It was a completely different sport back then, so you can't really even compare him to Babe Ruth. But 46 home runs as a pitcher. And as you mentioned, 26 stolen bases. Like, this guy's out here hitting for power, stealing bases, strikeouts, going deep into games, leaving the mound and walking out to right field to play in the field. This has been a season like I've never seen before. And you know what? I'm going to say it. The Angels, I don't want to see him on the Angels. Like, he needs to be on a more successful franchise. We need, for Major League Baseball, Shohei Ohtani to be on a successful team that's in the playoffs, just so the world can see what Ohtani can do. Jalen, right now, you're in Boston. And you've got a suit because you're doing NBA Countdown live from Boston as they host the Lakers. We'll get you ready for that game. Perhaps LeBron will come back. We'll see right after this.
The return of the king. He's 50-50.
Swagoo and Perk.
Yo, what up, y'all? I'm Marcus Spears, a.k.a. Swagoo. I don't know how it happened. Me and Big Perk, Kendrick Perkins, NBA champion, got a podcast. I don't know who thought of this, okay? Listen, nobody asked too many questions. I don't know what they gonna do after we burn this thing down, but hopefully they can extinguish it, Perk, because we finna go in, big dog.
It's a great day for Big Perk.
Check out Swagoo and Perk wherever you get your podcast.
Big night tonight on ESPN, 7 o'clock. It is NBA Countdown, getting you ready for the Lakers against the Celtics at 7:30. Will LeBron play? Find out. And then at 10 p.m., it is the Mavs taking on the Western Conference champions from last year, the Phoenix Suns. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen Rose, you are boots on the ground in Beantown, getting ready for the Celtics-Lakers game. When you look at the Lakers' performance, with and without LeBron James, shocker, they're much better with LeBron James. He is 50-50. Do you expect to see him on the parquet tonight in Boston?
I do, and I hope so. Here's the thing. You're right, Jacoby. It's obvious that they're better with LeBron, but that doesn't mean be 4-6 without him. And I'm telling you, if they go lower than a 5 seed in the West, they ain't winning the championship this year. And you know, that's who I picked going into the season. But the journey's too tough. I said this to you last year. They fell to the 7th, then the 8th. First round exit, Phoenix Suns. No room for error. Hopefully the King returns and has a big game.
Hopefully he does. When you're talking about the Celtics, we always say happiness is a function of realistic expectations. They're playing below expectations right now. What do they need to do to turn around?
Well, here's what they shouldn't be doing or thinking about doing. Trading Jaylen Brown. Boston Celtics, I'm telling you right now, that would be one of the worst mistakes in the history of the franchise. Don't listen to the naysayers who say Tatum and Brown can't coexist. They're terrific, young, talented players. Just continue to build some front court help around them and get them a playmaker that can make the game easier for both of them. Keep those guys together for a long time.
Jalen, very quickly, we have Lamar Jackson and the Ravens taking on the Bears. It seems like it was a month ago, but Lamar Jackson and the Ravens lost to the Dolphins last Thursday. Can they get it right against the Bears?
I believe so. It's going to be great to see Lamar go against Khalil Mack in that defense. And like you mentioned, see if he can have a bounce-back game. And on the other side, Justin Fields hasn't necessarily been Mac Jones per se, as it relates to his ascension each week. But at the same time, he's not getting the same nurturing from his staff and doesn't have the same weapons. So I just hope they can keep Justin upright and he can actually have a big game if he gets a chance to make some throws down the field.
We will be back on Monday to break down the whole weekend
We're not
of
done.
action on and off the field.
We're not done.